here's what I got on this. I don't have to say he's good or bad. That's not what our listeners care about necessarily. They want to see us report on the right, as I mentioned. What I will say is that I hope he wins over Susan Collins, because I think the bigger picture issue is defeating MAGA, and she has facilitated MAGA. I think it would be great, Jared, if this guy turned out to be awesome and without problems, and like a great, we're just thinking about what an amazing socialist leader he has been. And thank God we were patient with him as he sorted through his life. My experience with people who seek power is that you should not expect good things, and particularly from somebody who's like this. The kind of podcast we would host about John Fetterman in 2022 would be so different than the one we did with Anthony Fisher. For people who heard that on our premium feed, you just don't know what somebody like this is going to be like until they get there. And you can hope that it's fine, and I hope that it's fine, but I would not be rushing to publicly embrace this guy until I see him actually be a senator for a little while, which, I'm sorry, I just don't trust him. It's like, I think he probably knew what the Nazi tattoo was based upon the My Totenkopf thing, or he certainly found out. And if he called it My Totenkopf, he was embracing it to some degree. I understand why.
Maybe he thought it was funny. I don't have a reason to believe he was a neo-Nazi.
Sure. I mean, I could see also looking at that design and wanting a skull and crossbones and thinking it was the cooler one. It's kind of cartoony looking. It's weird. It's like the violence in it is softened by the head shape. I don't know how to describe it. It looks like a kind of like a satanic Pac-Man or something. I don't know how to describe it. And like, he was probably, I'm sure if he knew about it, I don't think he was saying like, yes, my allegiance is with Adolf Hitler, and I am going to play a slow game to get power in America from the Democratic side, and then turn around and do Hitler on the American people and on American Jews. I don't think that is what's happening here. But I do think that it says something about his judgment that makes me think that like he would not be the best candidate in Maine to run this particular race. I do think he can win, and part of the reason he can win is because he does sound very authentically working class, and the message is a message that should win everywhere in this particular economic and cultural climate.
I mean, working off what you just said, I mostly agree. I think the whole thing with the tattoo, the Reddit posts and stuff, it's just unserious, right? And I don't mean to sound like pretentious, gazing down from the ivory tower. There is no ivory tower beneath my seat. And I think, it's, of course, the opposition party to MAGA needs to gain power to stop what's happening, and hopefully, flip the tables and start doing some investigations and trying to hold some people accountable. But like, the rhetoric alone isn't going to get there, right? We do need like serious people who are serious about doing serious, difficult, hard work to make any of that happen, right? Because this administration and the movement attached to it's going to fight tooth and nail with everything they've got to try to outrun the clock or like evade consequences somehow. So I don't know. I feel like the tattoo story is plausible, but like a little bit bullshit. I don't like that at all. And I especially don't like the allegations of him, being physical with romantic partners. That's like a red line in my book. That would be enough for me to just say, if I was a Maine voter and it was the primaries, that would be enough to have me looking at other candidates. But at this point, the train is down the track. This is who is running, and the other option is Susan Collins. And regrettably, I hope he wins, is kind of how I feel about it. I regret that I hope he handily defeats Susan Collins.